Okay, today we'll study what is meant by specific heat of gas. Understand it. Specific heat is the quantity of heat supplied to increase the temperature of unit mass of substance by 1 degree. Normally, solids and liquids have got a single value. Understood? Solids and liquids have got a single value, but gases are different. What happened to gases? When a gas is slightly heated, or when we raise the temperature of a gas, there is a big change in its pressure and volume. I repeat, when there is a small change in temperature of a gas, there is a big change in the volume as well as pressure of the gas. So scientists define two specific heats for a gas. One will be the specific heat at constant volume, and other will be specific heat at constant pressure. Understood? Both are given by formula Cp and Cv and Cp respectively. Now one relation is there which helps us to understand the relation between specific heat at constant pressure and specific heat at constant volume. That relation is called as Mayer's relation. What? Mayer's relation. It will give you the relation between Cp and Cv. Okay, today we will understand these two terms and the relation between them. First of all, understand there is a frictionless piston. Frictionless piston. You can take example of a syringe. Okay, syringe you have seen. Inside it there is a gas. Pressure of gas is P, volume is V, and temperature is T. The piston is frictionless. Okay, the piston can move up and down. It is frictionless. In the first case, I am heating the gas at constant volume. So I have locked the piston. So the piston will not move up. In that case, when I supply heat, the temperature of the gas will rise, and whatever heat is supplied to the piston will be utilized by the gas to increase its internal energy. To increase its what? Internal energy, and you will find the temperature of the gas increases. Okay, but volume will remain constant. This is what increase in temperature of a gas at constant volume. Okay, and the heat supplied is used to increase the internal energy of the gas. In the second case, we supply heat at constant pressure. In constant pressure, the piston is free to move. Now when you supply the heat to the gas, see, the heat supplied is used in two ways. First, to increase the temperature of the gas, and second, work is done to push the piston upwards to increase the volume of the gas. Okay, so the work done is in two ways. Out of the heat supplied, work done is in two ways. One, to increase the internal energy, and second, to increase the volume, or to do work against the external pressure. Okay, and so we get a different equation compared to the earlier one. When gas is heated at constant pressure, okay, the heat energy is used in two ways. One, to increase the temperature, and secondly, to increase its volume. Okay, so let's understand this on the board, what I am telling you. The board, this is a piston, and we are supplying heat. The piston is a container in which there is a gas whose pressure is P, volume is V, and T is what? Temperature. Okay, the piston is locked, so it will not move up. Now when we supply heat, whatever heat is supplied will be used to increase the temperature of the gas. Temperature rises from T, it becomes what? T plus dt. This is a rise in temperature. Okay. Now, if CV stands for the molar specific heat at constant volume, I can write, okay, the heat supplied dQ1 is equal to the internal energy of the gas equal to CV into dt. CV stands for specific heat at constant volume, okay, molar specific heat at constant volume into dt. So this relation is obtained. In this case, the relation is dQ1 equal to d plus d equal to CV dt, because whatever heat is supplied is only used to increase the internal energy, and the internal energy can be understood by this formula CV into dt. CV is the molar specific heat and dt is what? The rise in temperature. Okay, so I get this one relation. I call it as equation E. Now we look at the second case. Here we have supplied heat, okay, to the gas. The piston over here is free to move, okay, it is not locked, it is free to move. So when you supply heat to the gas whose pressure is P, volume V and temperature is T, two things will happen, okay. There will be rise in temperature. Temperature will rise from what? T to T plus dt. But at the same time, the piston is free to move and there will be increase in volume, and volume will increase to V plus dV. Understood? So in this case, the heat supplied is used for two purposes. First, to increase the temperature, and secondly, it is doing work to push the piston upwards. It is doing work to push the piston upwards, and so I'll write the heat supplied dQ2 equal to dE plus dW. What is dE? dE is the internal energy and dW is the work done to push the piston upwards. Now the same thing I can write as dQ2 equal to, I know dE, earlier I have written, is CV dt, okay, plus dW. dW I write as PdV, and I call this as total heat supplied as Cp dt. So I'll write Cp dt equal to Cv dt plus P into dV. Understanding? Cp dt is the heat supplied, Cv dt is the heat used to increase the internal energy of the gas, and PdV is the work done against the energy used to do external work. This is the energy used to do external work, this is the internal energy, okay, internal energy, and this is external work. Now we know that PV equal to RT for 1 mole. Similarly, P into V plus dV equal to R into T plus dt. If volume increases to dV and temperature increases to T plus dt, I get this equation, and this can be concluded as PdV equal to R dt. PdV equal to R dt. Now I substitute this value in this equation. Okay. Actually, I should write this as equation 2, and from equation A, I call it as equation B. From equation A, I can write Cp dt equal to Cv dt plus PdV. Understood? Sorry, this one. This I should write as equation B, and from equation A, I can write dq2 equal to cv dt plus p dv, and further this equation will change to cp dt equal to cv dt plus r dt. Are you getting this? PV is RT. If the volume increases to dV, R at P, V plus dV, temperature as T plus dt. Therefore, when you open the brackets, PV equal to RT will get cancelled, and what remains is P dV equal to R dt. I get Cp dt equal to Cv dt plus R dt. Now I write the same equation over here. I write Cp dt minus Cv dt equal to R dt. Dt is common, it will get cancelled. What remains? Cp minus Cv equal to R. Okay, and this relation is called as Mayer's relation. What we obtain here is the Mayer's relation. Cp minus Cv equal to R. Okay, it gives the relation between molar specificity at constant pressure and molar specificity at constant volume, and R stands for universal gas constant. Here we assume that units of heat and work are same, but in reality units of work are joule and units of heat are calories. So to convert this in units of heat, we have to divide R by mechanical equivalent of heat, that is J. Okay, and that's why Mayer's relation becomes Cp minus Cv equal to R upon J, where all units will be in what? Calories. All the units will be in the units of heat. Now we move further. We talk about now principal specific heat. What is principal specific heat? See, this Cp stands for molar specific heat, and Sp stands for what? Principal specific heat. It is nothing but the specific heat of a gas of unit mass at constant pressure. Specific heat of a gas of unit mass at constant volume. The difference between Cp and Sp is that one is for molar mass and this is for unit mass. Getting it? And that's why the relation is also simple. Cp is molar mass m0 into Sp. Cv is molar mass into Sv. Getting it? Both are specific heats. One is molar specific heat and other is principal specific heat. When you put these values in our Mayer's equation, we get m0 Sp minus m0 Sv equal to R upon J. m0 I take common. Therefore, Sp minus Sv equal to R upon m0 J. This is again one relation between principal specificity at constant pressure and principal specificity at constant volume. Both are exactly similar. Only thing is that here in denominator there will be molar mass. Our next topic is to find specific heat of gases using law of equipartition of energy. In the earlier topics I have taught you about the degrees of freedom. We will make use of those degrees of freedom to find the specific heat of gas Cp and Cv, and at the same time we can find adiabatic constant, that is gamma equal to Cp upon Cv. How we start? First of all, I am talking about a monoatomic gas. Na stands for number of atoms in the gas and capital T stands for temperature of the gas. Okay. Now a monoatomic gas has got three translational degrees of freedom. It can move along x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. So there are 3 degrees of freedom, and the total contribution, the average kinetic energy possessed by the atom, is given by 3 by 2 kb into T, which I have already explained earlier. Okay. Now the total internal energy per mole will be 3 by 2 into Na into kb T. Na is the number of molecules. Okay, 3 by 2 Na Kb into T. This is the internal energy E of the gas per mole. Now, if you want to find molar specific heat at constant volume, it is given by Cv equal to dE by dt. I differentiate this with respect to temperature T. What I get? 3 by 2 Na Kb. Getting it? But Na into Kb is universal gas constant R. So I get 3 by 2 R. Now I make use of Mayer's relation Cp minus Cv equal to R. And what I get? Cp equal to 3 by 2 plus 1 or into R, that is 5 by 2 R. So Cv I get 3 by 2 R and Cp I get 5 by 2 R. Now once I obtain Cp and Cv, I can find gamma. Gamma will be simply Cp upon Cv, that is 5 by 3. So this equation is nothing but the equation for adiabatic constant for monoatomic gas. Now let us derive the similar equation for diatomic gas. Okay, look at the board. For a diatomic gas, okay, there are 3 translational degrees of freedom and 2 rotational degrees of freedom. Correct? So the average energy per mole will be given as 3 by 2 kBT plus 2 into half kBT. Getting it? This becomes kBT. So 3 by 2 kBT plus kBT becomes 5 by 2 kBT. Okay. This is the average energy per atom, not per mole. Average energy possessed, internal energy per atom, right? 5 by 2 kBT. Now total internal energy per mole will be E equal to 5 by 2 into Na. Na is the number of atoms into Kb into T. Now molar specific heat at constant volume will be Cv equal to dE upon dt, and that is differentiating this with respect to temperature. I get 5 by 2 Na Kb or 5 by 2 R. Simple. Now using Mayer's relation, I can write Cp equal to Cv plus R, that is 5 by 2 R, plus R, that is 7 by 2 R. Getting it? Now finally, what we will do? We have to find gamma. Gamma will be Cp upon Cv, that is 7 by 2 R upon 5 by 2 R, that will be simply 7 upon 5. This is our final expression. Okay, that is diatomic gas, gamma for diatomic gas. Now let's talk about the specific heat of diatomic gas with non-rigid molecules. If you remember, for such a gas there are 3 translational degrees of freedom, 2 rotational degrees of freedom and 2 vibrational degrees of freedom. Okay, so I can write the average energy per atom as 3 by 2 kb into T plus 2 into half kb T plus 2 into half kb T, right? Now this becomes kbt plus kbt, 2 kbt, and this finally becomes 7 by 2 kb T. Okay. Now total energy per mole. Total energy per mole will be E equal to 7 by 2 into Na into kb T. But we all know Na into kb is R, so you can write directly 7 by 2 RT, but instead I'll first find CV. CV is molar specific at constant volume. I will differentiate E with respect to temperature. What I get is 7 by 2 Na Kb, that is 7 by 2 R. In a similar manner, I can get Cp. Cp is 7 by 2 R plus R, and it becomes 9 by 2 R. Finally, we find gamma. Gamma is Cp upon Cv, and that gives you 9 by 2 divided by 7 by 2, and that gives you simply 9 by 7. Okay, this is a adiabatic constant for diatomic gas. Friends, we will now talk about a polyatomic molecule. Before that, I will once again recall a diatomic molecule has got 3 translational degrees of freedom, 2 rotational degrees of freedom, and for those diatomic molecules whose atoms are non-rigid, means they are free to move, they have a vibrational mode of degrees of freedom. Now when you talk about a polyatomic molecule may have any number of atoms in it. In such cases, these molecules have 3 translational degrees of freedom, okay, one along x-axis, one along y, and one along z-axis. Similarly, they will have 3 rotational degrees of freedom. The molecule can move about x-axis, y-axis as well as z-axis. So this point you remember, for a polyatomic molecule, 3 translational and 3 rotational degrees of freedom. So 6 degrees of freedom it has got. Now what about the vibrational mode? The polyatomic molecule may have a different geometric structure. No two molecules will have the same structure. So different polyatomic molecules have got different geometric structure, and based on the geometry, these molecules may have any number of vibrational degrees of freedom. Each vibration mode has got 2 parts. One is the kinetic mode and one is the potential mode. The kinetic energy mode provides half kBt and the potential energy mode provides half kBt. So from one vibration mode we get kBt as a total energy. Understanding? So I repeat the last point. The number of vibrational modes for a polyatomic molecule may be any depending on the geometry of the figure, and we say a polyatomic molecule has got F modes of vibration. F modes of what? Freedom of for vibration. F may be any number depending on the geometry of the figure. Okay, now let's understand this on the board and derive Cp, Cv and gamma for a polyatomic molecule. So we are talking about polyatomic molecule. Okay, it has 3 translational degrees of freedom, 3 rotational degrees of freedom, and it will have F modes of vibrational degrees of freedom. Okay, now if you want to find the average energy per atom, average energy per atom, what will I write? 3 by 2 kBt. 3 into half kBt, that is 3 by 2 kBt, plus 3 by 2 kBt. 3 translational, 3 rotational, and F into kBt. Okay, or I can write F into 2 into half kBt. Now when you add this, what you get? See, 3 by 2 plus 3 by 2 is 6 by 2. 6 by 2 is 3 kBt, and this is simply kBt. What you get here is 3 plus F kBt. 3 plus F kBt. Now, total internal energy per mole. Total internal energy per mole will be given as, this is value of E, will be given as E equal to 3 plus F Na kBt. Okay. Now let's talk about the molar specific heat at constant volume, that is Cv. It will be dE upon dt, capital T. When you differentiate this with respect to temperature, I get this as simply 3 plus F into Na kB, or 3 plus F into capital R. Similarly, I will get Cp is 3 plus Fr plus R, that is 4 plus F into capital R. Okay, I got Cp, I got Cv. Now gamma I will find. Gamma is what? Adiabatic constant, Cp upon Cv, that is 4 plus F upon 3 plus F. This is our final answer. Okay. In this way, we derive the specific heat of polyatomic molecule.